Hello everyone and welcome back to Binge and Build. Today I'm going to do a deep dive into the new Jurassic World Rebirth. This is the latest chapter in the Jurassic franchise that brings us back to the legacy of the original park but pushes the story forward in new ways. In The Sims, I decided to build 3 of the main characters in The Sims 4, Zora, Dr. Henry, and Duncan. And today I want to talk about the movies, some of the opening scene, the Diago family, because they always have to bring kids in the series. It is something that they've always done. The new island, some of the standout dinosaurs, some of the scenes, and also the strengths and weaknesses of the film. So grab yourself a drink and we're going to go ahead and talk about this film. So let's talk about the opening scene. It was probably one of my favorite opening scenes. I've seen it in a long time from the Jurassic franchise. Yes, I've watched all 7 of them. I have watched them many times. I do like how the film kicks off. You are in Biosyn, I believe. It is the company that took over from Hammond. And they are working on making hybrid dinosaurs for the park, but not Jurassic Park, the park that was in Jurassic World. So this was like 17 years before the film. So I think we're kind of in 2011. And then the film takes place in like 2027. There's some debate about 2028, but I think it's 2027 based on like the timeline. But, that's besides the point. That's not that big of a deal. The opening scene is very much like a creature feature horror film. You get to see the D-Rex in this one because a guy is eating a candy bar. And of course, it's kind of like, some of the, I don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. Hi everyone, welcome back to Binge and Build. Today we are going to do a deep dive into the brand new Jurassic World Rebirth. This is the latest chapter in the Jurassic franchise that brings back very much a nostalgia ride of the original, but pushes the story forward in a different kind of a way, kind of moves away from Dominion. I am going to build or create 3 of the main characters. We got Zora, Dr. Henry, and Duncan, and I'll explain a little bit more about them as we go on to the review. I'm going to talk about the lab opening scene, and I'm going to talk about the Diago family, and the new island, some of the standout dinosaurs, and both of the strengths and weaknesses of the film. So if you are ready to listen to my thoughts and what I think about it, we're going to get started. So let's talk about one of my favorite scenes in the film. Just one. There's a couple, and I'm going to discuss them. I want to talk about the lab opening scene because the film kicks off, and this lab, which is going to be the island that the characters are going to get to. This is 17 years prior, so about 2011, and then this film does take place 5 years after Dominion. So I think it falls between like 2027. Some people have fought and said 2028, to each its own. That's besides the point. So it does kick off. Some mishaps happen with this, and they're checking on the D-Rex. You see is D-Rex. You get the sense of panic and alarms blaring. It's very much a little bit high tech because of when it takes place. It's 2011. Like in the original film, like the disaster when it happened was a little bit different. So this one, they do have like higher tech, which makes sense because of the time. They know it's bad. They know this dinosaur cannot get out. And then, in this, you kind of see the D-Rex. He's creepy. He just, take someone out. But yes, he looks very much like almost alien, predator kind of feeling vibe on that. He's creepy. He is strange. You almost feel like maybe he shouldn't be there because of you wonder if he's in pain. And for that D-Rex, you do see him again, but there's not a lot of backstory, and I don't know if they released a little bit more, because I know that Jurassic World marketing is great, and they will release stuff. I don't know if they've said much. I have not looked into that, because I kind of didn't want to see what he was, but yeah, he's creepy, or almost like maybe that's not right. You're keeping this dinosaur alive for research, and he could be, that's kind of the whole core of these films. Okay, then we meet the family, because in this franchise, there's always a family. There's always kids. It's kind of a trope in it. There's one. All of them have kids to some capacity, so it's just, why not? This one actually had a family, not just kids, so it was a little bit different. They kind of strayed a little bit, but there's always kids. So right after that lab scene, we shift to the new family, and the boat is caught and capsized, and they have to stay on this boat just because of them. Oh my gosh, oh gosh, I always say their name wrong. So the boat does get capsized by a mosasaurus, the one that got out from the second trilogy, the world after Jurassic World. And it's interesting. I want to talk about that scene where he like flips and he causes the boat, which it kind of changes with these dinosaurs a little bit, because you feel like they're acting like animals. They're just not eating for sport. Almost like some of the other ones feel like they're just eating to eat. This was his territory. He was not going to let this boat take his food, basically, is what I felt. So he wasn't just this predator, because he could have eaten them. Like, there's no doubt about it. He could have eaten them. So, okay. So we're going to talk about the island itself. This is a new, completely different island. You do kind of meet who owns the island. This is from Parker Genix, because Biosyn went chapter 11. It does mention that in the movie. But yes, it's very beautiful. One thing that Jurassic World or Jurassic Park, the franchise, has always done is their cinematography is so beautiful, and they've always used their surroundings, and it's so beautiful. This new island is so beautiful. So now we talked about how the family kind of gets mixed in. We talked a little bit what happens to them. So let's talk about Parker Genix and a little bit of what we kind of understand, it's kind of confusing a little bit. So we do have Parker Genix. They, because of heart disease or something, and I always felt like that wasn't the real reason why they were going to the island. I don't know why. So you meet, of course, Zora, and you meet, I don't remember his name, the Parker Genix guy. He was just kind of the typical bad, vapid kind of person. Didn't have any kind of storyline. Really, you were almost waiting for him to show his true colors, but he never did. And then you have Zora and her team, which has a bunch of people that end up, gone. And then you have, Zora and Duncan, and they are going to this island with Dr. Henry Loomis, because of trying to stop heart disease, and they need these animals' blood so they can create this medicine, because Parker Genix is a pharmaceutical company. It is not like one of the normal companies that they have. So the dinosaurs are actually on this island because of not the original Jurassic Park 1993. They're on this island because of the Jurassic World park. And it kind of, in the trailers, they kind of did a little bit of wordplay and kind of tricked you. But yes, they're on this. They were making their first kind of hybrids. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. So yes, so these dinosaurs are wandering free. I know my review is kind of all over, but it's a lot to cover because it is a long movie. Most of these dinosaurs, they kind of explain what happened to the dinosaurs, especially in like North America and stuff. They have died off because of disease, and it's just not enough oxygen, because Dr. Henry kind of talks about the oxygen a little bit, saying they have died off, or they have been put on these tropical kind of islands, like they were originally at the parks, like Isla Nublar. So this new island is close to the equator because it has more oxygen. It just mentioned that. So a lot of these dinosaurs, these are new dinosaurs. Some of them are new to the franchise. Some of them are not, like that we've seen like on screen. They probably created them before, but we just never seen them on screen. So they are wandering kind of free. This island is kind of isolated, not supposed to go to. It's dangerous. Like basically, if you go there, you're gonna get, you know. Um, so they're on a mission, and of course, this boat these picks up the family because they are stranded. They need to get DNA from the mosasaurus. I say these words wrong. Please forgive me. And they do get it, and that was a really cool scene too, where like Zora Zora kind of gets flipped. It's pretty cool. I love that scene. It was done well. They've always done their dinosaur scenes pretty close. So they go there. Of course, their boat crashes because this is a Jurassic Park World movie. So, and we get to see Spinosauruses, a lot of them. Like, this island has thrived over the 17 years that no one's, or I think it's been 17 years. It never quite says if anyone else has been to the island in this time. You can assume they have, but they've never talked about it before, I guess. So let's talk about some of the dinosaurs and some of the stuff that kind of happened. You get to meet some new ones. You do get to meet the D-Rex. He is a predator. He has 6 limbs. He is very big. These dinosaurs in this series is big. Like, they're huge. So I do like that one, especially when he comes out of his oh my gosh, the power place, the store. It looks like it's almost like a little store. That kind of brings it back. But he comes out. He does crash a plane. He's really, really big. I think that moment, and that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, is where like Duncan is using the flare to distract him so the others can get on a boat. They found a boat, of course, and that's just his presence is so big. And then we have to talk about the scene with the family and the T-Rex and the raft. That was a good scene where the T-Rex was huge, and I kind of was glad you got to see like the T-Rex kind of sleeping, kind of being animals. Like, you're supposed to believe no one's been to this island in a very long time, so they've kind of adapted to their life. Like, the T-Rex has his own little territory, and they're kind of scared to go there. Very, very cool, especially when he goes underwater. Such a good scene. But this is not a normal Rexy. He, from the first 6 films, I guess you could say, very different. And then you get to meet the Tyrannosauruses. That was a beautiful scene. That was like a throwback to the first one, where Alan Grant got to see the dinosaur. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. My daughter knows these names, but you know what I'm talking about, that scene. But you get to see those beautiful, and they're kind of like doing like a mating call. It was really done well. They were huge. It was pretty, and then it kind of panned out, and you got to see a bunch of them. It was so nice. And then you got to see a really cool scene, and I don't remember what this bird is called because I'm terrible at dinosaurs' name, but you got to see a really cool scene of them extracting, because they extracted from the Titanosauruses, and then they have to get one from a bird type, and one that flies. I don't remember what it's called. It's new to the franchise. Please forgive me. I'm not the smartest at these, but you get to see a cool scene of them. Very well done. Big, almost get eaten. I felt like they kind of held back on eating a lot of people. Like, they wanted to eat even less significant characters than these characters were. So that was pretty funny. I was waiting, and I was like, no, they're not really eaten. That was a cool scene where they climbed up the mountain. They were pushing, and you seen someone get eaten. A brutal way to get eaten. Quite sad. And then we have the worst dinosaur I've ever seen in my life. The worst dinosaur. And you guys might love him, but I hated him. I keep saying that is so goofy. It was the hybrid of the Velociraptor and the Pteranodon, I think what it was. Horrible. It looked goofy. Like, it looked so goofy, and I know these were not good for the park, but it took me out of it. I was like, goofy. Hated it. Oh my gosh, hated it. Worst thing I've ever seen. So bad. I don't know why. To me, it just looked creepy. It looked weird. It wasn't even creepy. Like, I could take creepy. It was just laughable. I laughed. I was like, that's silly. But however, I did like the part where you got to see the velociraptor in like the store they had, because this island was pretty high tech. They had a store, and like it was pretty fancy, I could say. A lot better than what it was in 1993, I guess. And you got to see kind of like that throwback to like the velociraptor in the first one with the foot, and you had this one. But they weren't afraid. Like, I felt like sometimes in some of the other films they were afraid to, like, you know, the dinosaurs, like the dinosaurs, but not in this one. You got to see a couple of that. I forgot to, the Spinosaurus is like helping the water dinosaur. Oh my gosh, Mosasaurus. That was pretty cool. Like, I like seeing the Spinosaurus, bunch of them. It was like a symbiotic relationship. Cause I really liked that one. What else was a really good scene? Yes, I did like. So we're gonna talk about my favorite actual character. Oh, I forgot to talk about one more dinosaur. Sorry, I'm so excited. This is the Dolores. He's like an Oculus. I think I'm saying this right. He is so cute. He kind of looked like a triceratops a little bit. I know it's a completely different dinosaur. I love Dolores. So cute. The little girl the family did bring it back on the boat when they rescued themselves. No one came to rescue them. And then the park eugenics guy, of course, gets because he's just a terrible person. Like I said before, I was waiting for the other foot to drop. With him, I was like, he is not doing this for heart disease. Like, there's something else. But it was almost like they were holding back a little bit. But yes, he was not, you know, that's what I felt. I'm like, come on, because in the series you're like, come on, reveal yourself. But yes, I also want to talk a little bit about some of the main characters in here. We got Zora Bennett. She is a tough survivor. She's kind of like a missionary, but she don't call herself a missionary. She is damaged by something that happened in her past. She lost one of her team members. So, you know, she really wants money. She really wants to stop this kind of job. But she does have a little bit of heart in her. You have Dr. Henry Loomis, who is just a scientist. He's caught with, like, because he worked for Alan Grant. You do find out that his moral compass and his dangerous science, and you know, he's unsure about going to this island in general. He also, you know, I don't think he really likes, like, he wants to leave these creatures alone. They should have never been made. And then you got Duncan Kay. He is a protector. He lost his family. He lost his son. And in that scene where he like you think he sacrifices himself, which he does with the D-Rex, because the D-Rex wants to come. He does it because he lost his little boy, and that was a good scene. And then you find out he does survive. Spoiler alert, he does survive. I do love that scene in there because he is my favorite character. He's probably the most fleshed out character. So we're going to talk a little bit about the strengths and weaknesses, since I did a little divide of all the family. This one of the strengths of this lab scene, it was one of my favorite I've seen in a while from the franchise. It just reminded me of like a survival horror film, like a horror film, very scary, like very intense, even for like very intense for a creature feature. That's something that they always do in creature feature films. The D-Rex is a standout. I didn't think I would like him as much, but I actually did. He's kind of sad. Like, one of the characters says, you know, he probably should just been put out of his misery. Why would you keep letting this animal something's clearly, you know, went wrong with the genes, you know. The family, I really think the family is a good add to it. They don't add a lot to it, but I do like the family. I do like the family dynamics. I felt like a real family. And then, you know, you get the boyfriend, and he's kind of like a butt, and he doesn't care to be about being a butt, but yeah, they felt like a really good family. The acting was great. I do think the acting was good. It felt real at times. Now, some of the weaknesses, which I think I've heard a lot, the weaknesses is really the character development. They had so many characters, and I don't think they had enough time to flesh out, and I just don't see they weren't memorable characters. Like, some of the characters I do not remember. And I just don't think they did well with that, with the characters in that. It kind of drags, the beginning kind of drags, trying to get the background of it, and then you finally get to the island, and it's pretty fast paced from there. It is a over 2 hour movie, so it's a long time. I also don't think the villain of the movie, which is the Parkergenics, is very fleshed out enough. Like I've said before in this review, I think that it's just you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're like, come on. And then and he's not a good guy. He's on his mission because he's working for them. He's paying them a lot of money. He's getting paid a lot of money to get these. And you're like, are you truly using this for heart? And then you had there was a political moment in there between Dr. Henry and Dora where they're like, should we really be giving this to a pharmaceutical company? Because they're just going to, if they do make this for heart disease, they are just going to give it to the rich, or they're going to overprice it so that everyone can get it. So, and that was a political, and I think that was based in kind of reality there. I do believe that's what would happen. So that didn't bother me. Also, I like the fact at the end of the movie, she's like, so who do you want to give this to? Because the one they were going to give it to, is kind of gone. He's like, you decide. So you never know if they're going to give it to everyone. At least I don't remember if they said that or not. So my overall thoughts, my final thoughts, and my rating of the film. So my overall Jurassic World Rebirth delivers a thrilling dinosaur pack survival story. It does have fresh ideas. Some of them are a little silly. It really felt like a standalone film, though. I'm just going to make that. There is some connection to the original park. You do get, it's very much, I love the new dinosaurs they add. I feel like we got some of the new dinosaurs that we've never seen or haven't seen on film. I thought that was pretty cool instead of recycling the same old dinosaurs. I've never been like a big fan of the hybrid ones. I think sometimes they can get a little silly, like the monodons. I don't even know how to say it. The Velociraptor and the Pteranodon. That was a little silly. The D-Rex is pretty cool. I think that is more based in reality because it didn't work. Because like when you're messing with genes or you're messing with things you shouldn't be messing with, it can cause some issues. And they were studying why. I don't even know why they were studying either. So they never quite explained that. They just said it was for the hybrids of the Jurassic World park. I don't know. But the film could have benefited for some richer character development because there's not a lot of stand out to me. My favorite character is Duncan because he was given a little bit of a more character development. He's great job in that. But they're not memorable like Owen is, and Claire, and from the Jurassic World, and from from the original you got Alan Grant, you got Malcolm. All of them are very memorable. This is only one film, so I think they do have an opportunity to make it more rich, I guess. Make them rich if they decide to do it. So my overall, I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 3.5 out of 5. It is a solid watch for dino fans, but it's not a perfect one. It is not my favorite. And I'm honestly no Jurassic World Park movies ever going to be as good as Jurassic Park. Sorry, that film changed the way people see cinema, work on film. There's tons of documentaries on it, how it changed, the puppet idea. So I don't think you're ever going to get to that place. That's just my opinion on it. So I have to say thank you so much for binging and building with me today. What do you think of the D-Rex and the new island? Which character would you want me to build and expand in The Sims 4? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more detail reviews and sim builds. Until next time, keep building your worlds and binging your stories. And thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Bye.